welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Chris Lee Kennedy, and this is the show where we bring you the day's biggest movie news, and of course we give you insight into what it all means. Joining me, as always, is our AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, Mr. John Campea.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, coming to you live from right here at the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. This is a special I Told You So Wednesday.
We also have joining us AMC's Alicia Malone.
You called it, John. You called it, and yeah, Dwayne confirmed it.
And we also have joining us the director of the upcoming film, The Death of Superman Lives. What happened, Mr. John Schnepp?
What are they talking about? Dwayne? What? I don't know. What could they possibly be talking about?
Well, as happens sometimes, after we finish, you won't see this in the sidebar, after we finish writing the show notes in the morning, another piece of news drops. And in this case, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson took to his Twitter, as you can see the graphic we have up here now, to confirm that he is indeed Black Adam.
Kneel at my feet.
Kneel at my feet or be under my boot.
Like that.
I love that picture. That's from Injustice, Gods Among Us. I love that. No, it's not. No, that's from something else. Anyway, you know, this has been going on for a while. I have said for months. I said, everybody's saying he's going to be Shazam, he's going to be Shazam. I said, no, he's going to be Black Adam. I am telling you, he's going to be Black Adam. And he's Black Adam. And I got to tell you, I am thrilled with it.
Yeah.
I've wanted to see The Rock. Okay, take Black Adam out of it for a second. I've wanted to see The Rock play something a little bit different, not be the hero. I wanted to see him. Now, what is interesting is in that tweet, one of his hashtags was anti-hero. And which makes me think, are they going to do a little bit of a Loki thing with Black Adam? Could Black Adam be the villain, but there is some redeemable things about him? That would be interesting.
Right.
It would be fascinating to see DC have that character like that, and because clearly The Rock is just so damn likable. The biggest challenge they're going to have with The Rock playing Black Adam is to not have us like him as he's doing it. That's going to be tough.
So damn likable.
I just saw Hercules.
Yeah.
So bad. Such a bad movie.
But he's likable.
But he's so likable that me and Irish Ryan McGuffey, we walked out of the theater thinking, that movie was so bad, but you kind of liked watching it because The Rock is so likable in it. I mean, that's the same. And now we got him playing Black Adam. Does beg the question, who's going to play Shazam?
Yeah. Do you think he had his choice between the two?
Well, if you listen to him, I remember he put out a tweet about, was it maybe 2 weeks ago we talked about it on the show, where he put out a tweet saying, I haven't been able to decide between Shazam and Black Adam.
Yeah.
So I think they gave him the choice. And that raised up a very interesting possibility. Well, what if he's playing both? Like, what if he's, you know, because if you understand the origin of, you know, how Black Adam and Shazam both have their powers and stuff like that, it would be a departure from the comic books, but there's some logic to there. And they didn't go that way, and it's probably for the best that they didn't. But for me, I'm stoked about this. I think this is great. I emailed you guys this morning to let you know what was going on. Schnepp, your reaction when you heard that The Rock's going to be Black Adam?
Satisfied, and then now we don't have to talk about whether he's Lobo or what any other character.
Yeah.
Well, who's The Rock going to be? At least, like, now we know he's Black Adam. I think, yeah, I mean, with the hashtag anti-hero, maybe he's going to, like, come around and, like, save Shazam at the end. He's like, I told you so, jabroni. You know, the fight to, you know, smell what Black Adam's
jabroni,
yeah.
I will send a check for $100 to Warner Brothers, just like that, if he says jabroni in it.
But yeah, by him saying anti-hero, it's kind of giving a little hint that maybe he's not all bad, and maybe he might, like, help Shazam out. A bigger battle maybe will ensue. I'm just glad that DC, outside of The Rock, decided to get rid of the whole Billy Batson thing, and now it's just Shazam.
Do we know that?
I certainly, in the comics at least they did.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, you're right. Actually, we don't know. Maybe Billy Batson will still be in the movie. You know?
Alicia?
I was just glad to finally hear some news about it after all his tweets, and also that he might be playing a villain or a darker character. I think is cool. I hope he does the eyebrow.
The eyebrow is absolutely necessary. So let me ask you, Schnepp, what would you do? Like, who can you see, knowing that The Rock is going to be Black Adam, who would you put in as Shazam?
Wow, you know, to be honest with you, I would go with a total unknown. I mean, it's sort of like I would cast Shazam how I would cast, or how they cast Superman in the very first Superman. They surrounded an unknown with immense talent. Marlon Brando, Gene Hackman.
Right.
Why not do the same with Shazam?
It's hard to imagine someone of his size going up against Like, there's not really too many actors who are like The Rock.
I just wouldn't go with a wrestler. I wouldn't go with like a giant muscle man.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's not really anyone.
I mean,
that you
because
could choose.
The Rock is not. Dwayne Johnson is not just a muscle man or a wrestler.
Not
He's
anymore.
actually, he's actually a really good
works,
actor.
right, yeah.
So, you know, he's in that playing field. So I would try to like go with an unknown. That would be my first.
Chris
bet is-
Hemsworth.
Yeah, totally. You mean like an
Hemsworth for
unknown like Chris
everything.
Hemsworth?
Who-
Yeah.
What actor right now has some experience playing like a superhero with lightning
It's
and
tough,
stuff?
tough, and also an actor, Tom Hardy or Chris Hemsworth.
Right.
Yeah,
I
there you
would
go.
go with a
Think of-
total unknown like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Shazam.
More than a few people throwing around Joe Manganiello in the chat board for Shazam.
Oh, that's, you know what, that's not.
That's not so bad.
I will not reject that notion. It wouldn't be my first choice, but if they announced that tomorrow, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
I could see it.
Isn't he busy being Crossbones and stuff like that? That's the same dude, right?
No, that's
That's a different actor.
That's a
from
different
Captain
actor, yeah.
America.
He's True Blood, Manganiello.
yeah, he was in True Blood, and he was
Magic
just
Mike.
in that Arnold Schwarzenegger film,
Sabotage.
Sabotage.
Yeah, and he's got that documentary that
And
he
was in
directed.
Magic. He was in Magic Mike, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was also in Magic Mike. And, yeah.
That was my
Filming
stupid.
too.
All right, let's get on to the official topic number 1.
All right, as the discussion continues about fans wanting a female-led Marvel movie, actor Robert Downey Jr. has added his voice to the crowd who would like to see a solo Black Widow movie. RDJ said the following: "It would be kind of more appropriate for a character that already was like a Black Widow. It just seems like whatever Scarlett does, people want to go see it. The funny thing is, honestly, at this point, everyone deserves a franchise. I think Jeremy Renner is. When folks see the Avengers Age of Ultron, he's just a rock star, a badass. And Ruffalo is pumped. He does great. I'd like to hear them talk even more seriously about a Hulk franchise because that's been one of the toughest ones to get right. But I'm sure that my parent company is feeling expansive and bold after the summer they've had." John, do you think Downey's comments could influence a Black Widow movie getting off the ground?
No, Robert Downey has absolutely zero influence over, or any actor will have zero influence over what Marvel decides they want to do or not want to do. And, you know, there was an interesting thing coming out where there have been several actors and actresses saying, you know, Scarlett Johansson deserves a franchise. This is not about the actor. It's about whether doing a movie based on that character is the right thing to do or not. And I still believe that a Black Widow movie is not interesting. I'm just not interested in a Black Widow movie. Not because she's a female character in it, because I've been, you know, banging my fists on the table saying they need to get moving on some female-led superhero franchises within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They have to have it. I just don't think Black Widow, I still don't think Black Widow is the one. I don't think you lead a franchise with a completely non-superpowered superhero, per se. Now, some people make the argument to me, well, John, Tony Stark isn't, yeah, but when he's wearing the armor, he's basically a god. So there's a difference there. I'm just not interested. Even when it's Scarlett Johansson, who's awesome. And I think Scarlett Johansson and the Black Widow character have done so much for the Marvel Cinematic Universe in playing a supporting role that I want to see her continue to do that because that's where she really shines and that's where she makes movies so much better. That's just my opinion. There's a lot of other people who are way smarter than me that do want to see a Black Widow leading role. But it's interesting comments from Robert Downey Jr. nonetheless. Anyway, Alicia, how do you see it?
Yeah, well, I agree. I've said before that although I really want to see a female superhero film, I'd be more interested in seeing someone like Ms. Marvel have her own franchise. Scarlett obviously has box office power. I mean, Lucy's not really a good film, but it showed that people really want to see her and want to see her in those action roles. But I agree with Robert Downey Jr. that I would love to see a Hulk franchise and more from the Hulk because Mark Ruffalo is just so brilliant in that role as Bruce Banner and the Hulk. Hawkeye I'm not so interested in, but maybe he'll pique my interest more with Avengers 2 when he has more to do.
Right.
All right, you got Nova, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel. I mean, there's like, the list is endless how many other characters. Moon Knight. I mean, there's so many other
Knight's a good
characters that could be brought to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But even by saying that, they should keep making more. I think Downey Jr. is saying, look, you've got these movies, like 3 Marvel movies every year. Why not make 4? Why not have the Hulk? Because like one of the things, the great thing about Ruffalo and him being in a Hulk movie is that the Hulk is great with his supporting cast. So you can have like Black Widow or Iron Man or Thor in the Hulk movie because he's now part of the Avengers. So that's what kind of makes it really exciting to me is the way they have set up this cinematic universe. It wouldn't just be a standalone Hulk. You'd have all these other characters involved, maybe coming in and coming out of the storyline. So I'd say the same thing with Black Widow. You could bring in Captain America. You could bring in Hawkeye.
But then it's a Captain America movie. You know, like you bring in Hawkeye. I think they've got their headliners and they've got their supporting characters. Right. Falcon is a supporting character. Right. Hawkeye is a supporting character. Black Widow is a supporting character. And what we've seen so far, like with Captain America or Iron Man, is that they bring in those supporting characters. My fear, though, is if you do a Black Widow movie and then, like, she was in Captain America's movie, if Captain America's there, that's Captain America 3. If Iron Man's there, that's Iron Man 3 or 4 at this point. That would be my concern about that. So you'd have to surround her with other supporting characters, whether it's a Falcon, a Hawkeye, or other new people. Their roster is so expansive that they could bring in. I would like to see them bring in more supporting female characters, actually.
Yeah. Well, I think they will with Avengers 2 and Avengers 3, and all the other movies are going to keep bringing in other new supporting characters. No matter if the movie is named X, you'll get 2 or 3 other people chucked in there, you know? Yeah. I think, and that's the great thing about when I was reading Marvel Comics as a kid, you never knew when someone from another comic book would show up.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're doing now. They're having fun in their playground. So, you know what? Hulk, I would love to see. I'm not opposed to seeing a Hawkeye or a Black Widow standalone, but I'd like to see some of these other characters get some shine. So.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
The current big game of in-theater chicken was between Pixar's sequel Finding Dory and DreamWorks' How to Train Your Dragon 3, which were both scheduled to hit AMC theaters on June 17, 2016. That is until now. DreamWorks has announced that they are moving How to Train Your Dragon 3 back almost a full year to June 9th, 2017. Alicia, good or bad move for DreamWorks to move the film?
Well, I'm sad because this means I have to wait 3 years to see another one. And I loved the first 2 of these movies, but I think it's a smart move because it is the same audience as Finding Dory. So you would split the audience, and I think Finding Dory is going to be a huge hit. That's one we've waited a long time for. But I do like that even though it is a full year, which seems extreme, DreamWorks has said a specific date. So they haven't gone, oh, just sometime in 2017. So that means they still have confidence in the project. It'll have more time to develop. I mean, it was 4 years between the first and the second How to Train Your Dragon, so I guess I can wait 3.
Yeah, I mean, I loved How to Train Your Dragon 2. Just loved it.
Beautiful.
It's made now over $600 million worldwide. I believe it's the biggest box office animated film of the year. Not that there's been a ton of animated films, but hey, it topped the Lego Movie.
Yeah.
Although I still think I prefer the Lego Movie a little bit.
Right.
I love this film. I'm with you. A little bit sad that they put, but this was a more ridiculous game of chicken. I contend this was a more ridiculous game of chicken than Batman vs. Superman vs. Captain America 3. Because at least in that one, you had some percentage of hardcore fanboys that were just going to dish out all their money and go see both. Nice. Families are going to be more choosy about what they're going to go see, and to release How to Train Your Dragon 2, it's going to lose to Finding Dory.
Yeah.
So it's smart to move. I don't know why they had to move it a full year, but it was a smart move to move it.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move to move it as well. Maybe they're going to work a little bit more on the story development, because to me, I loved How to Train Your Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon 2, I liked. Why? Because of the villain. Right. I love all the characters that were established and seeing them in, moving forward. I just thought the villain was a little bit one-dimensional. And since the villain wasn't strong enough for me, a lot of the whole storyline just didn't do it for me.
I loved the film, but I will agree with you. I'll go so far as to say this: the villain was a side note.
Yes.
Too. He was really just a side note in the character, and that's the one thing. As someone who loved the film, I thought they could have improved upon it.
Yeah. So I'm hoping maybe, hey, look, we're not going to go head to head with Dory. Let's take another year and maybe add a little couple extra flavor B notes, C notes to the screenplay that they have right now.
Yeah, because I think they planned it as a trilogy.
Right.
So this will be the final piece of the puzzle.
All right, folks, we reached that part of the show for Buy or Sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Chris Lee's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and then those of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Chris Lee, what do we got?
Iron Man 3 and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang director Shane Black has a release date for his next film. Warner Brothers has announced that his new film, The Nice Guys, will release on June 17, 2016, the same date as Finding Dory, which we just talked about. The Nice Guys will star Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling and is described as a noir crime drama set in 1970s Los Angeles. Jeanette, buy or sell the sounds of The Nice Guys?
I so buy this. It's just... when I read this, I was like, oh my God, yes. I mean, come on, Russell Crowe returning to a noir in LA, like LA Confidential.
Yeah.
He just rocks it so hard when he's playing a detective or, a cop or someone on a mission. I mean, he's just that guy. And Ryan Gosling is a great actor. I mean, you just watch Drive and you'll see, I cannot wait to see these guys either as a duo or going head to head. I don't know what the story is, but Shane Black doing a noir in LA 70s, it's like, yes.
Yeah, I buy this one too for the same reasons. Russell Crowe was so great in LA Confidential. Ryan Gosling, Gangster Squad wasn't so good, but I like him in that crime noir thing. And anything that seems like Shane Black is returning to Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, I'm in for. Seems like he's really busy at the moment too. He's got the new Predator installment, working on a Doc Savage movie.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pokers in the fire.
Destroyer film as well. But I'm all up for more Shane Black, and this project has been going around for a long time. I remember they did a live read of the script in 2011 in Austin, so it's nice to see that it's finally coming on board, and these two actors are great.
Yeah.
I buy this so enthusiastically. And look, Gangster Squad was not just not so good. It was wretched.
I really wanted to like it.
It was in my top 10 most anticipated films of the year.
I wanted to have a Copa shot and everything, and wanted to be Goodfellas, and I really wanted
bad.
it.
But Gosling is so good. When he's on the screen, it was watchable. I mean, he was actually really good in the film, despite the fact the film was terrible. And look, I've said for 10 years now, I think Russell Crowe is simply one of the best breathing today. I really do. You can't point me to one performance he's ever done that I won't say I think he was brilliant in that, even when he's been in some not so great movies. I just think he's one of the best we've ever had. I really do. Shane, but you said it all. Shane Black, film noir, in the 70s Los Angeles. This is awesome. So for me, it's a buy. What's next?
The new Seth Rogen-produced comedy, The Politician, has found its star. According to reports, actor Vince Vaughn has signed on to lead the film, which follows a disgraced governor and his underachieving accomplice go on a run from the FBI, U.S. Marshals, and a gang of hardened drug dealers. John, buy or sell Vince Vaughn leading The Politician?
Gotta sell this. I'm not really taken with the description, and as of right now, I'm not really taken with Vince Vaughn. You know, we had Vince Vaughn in our AMC Burbank studios with us, actually hanging out with us for the evening when The Delivery Man was coming out. And that dude could not have been more pleasant and nice and charming, at least to me. I mean, it was a real pleasure hanging out with him for the evening and talking to him, but he's not been so good. Like, when I think of Vince Vaughn, I still think of that comedic genius that we saw in Wedding Crashers, Dodgeball, two of my favorite comedies of all time right there. But it seems like they've just tried to replicate that Vince Vaughn formula and try to. Then recently we've seen Delivery Man, Internship. Delivery Man was a very different kind of movie, granted, but then Internship, and it just hasn't been working. I'm not discounting Vince Vaughn. I'm simply saying I'm now at a point where it's no longer the benefit of the doubt for me, and so I'm not excited about it. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed in that he knocks it out of the park and returns to form, but for now, for me, it's got to be a sell.
Yeah, it's a sell for me too. I mean, I would love to buy this because Vince Vaughn, as you said, is such a nice guy. He's really great on screen, but he hasn't been so good at picking projects lately. Me and my friends have a competition on Facebook where we try to guess the title of the next Vince Vaughn movie because it's always a job, you know, it's like The Internship or The Delivery Man. And I have a feeling someone did suggest The Politician, so that is really funny. So the synopsis doesn't sound so great. I do like the director, Michael Dowse. He just did What If with Daniel Radcliffe, which I really liked. So I have hope, but right now it's a sell.
And the producer's Seth Rogen, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to buy it if it's a comedy, and I'm going to sell it if it's a serious film.
I think it's a comedy. It reads to me like a comedy.
Well, then I'm going to buy it because I think if I just was imagining it, it was like at first I was going to sell it, and then while I was like looking at all, you know, all right, they're going to be on the run. He's a politician. Maybe the guy that's with him screwed something up, so he's not a totally evil, corrupt politician. So it has all the makings of something that could be a really fun road movie with all these people chasing him and stuff. So in my mind's eye, I was like, if that's a comedy, I trust Seth Rogen. I'm gonna buy it for right now. You know, I could always sell it when I see the trailer.
I don't know why, but when I hear the description of the film, I picture Sacha Baron Cohen. I don't know why, but that for whatever reason that seems
a disgraced politician.
Yeah,
I could see him do that.
All right.
Is it not so nice?
What's next?
Deadline is reporting that Warner Brothers has hired Dax Shepard to write, direct, and star in the 1970s TV show adaptation Chips. Shepard will play the role of Officer John Baker, played on the show by Larry Wilcox, and actor Michael Pena are attached to play Frank Ponch Poncherello, the role that made Eric Estrada famous. Alicia Viercel, Warner Brothers doing a Chips movie with Dax Shepard writing, directing, and starring in it.
Well, this may be a case like 21 Jump Street where we didn't think that this would work, but I'm going to sell it just because of Dax Shepard writing, directing, and starring in it, because I like Dax Shepard as an actor, and if he was just playing John Baker, I think that would be great. He's very likable, he's very funny, and Michael Pena is a great choice. But Hit and Run, Dax's movie, which he wrote, directed, and starred in, had a lot of problems. So I just don't have the confidence in him as a filmmaker right now.
I just have to echo everything you said. I sell it, and it's based on Dax Shepard. And I've met Dax Shepard once only, but from everybody else I know who seem to know him, say he's a lovely guy. Say he's really nice. He's married to Kristen Bell. She says he's a lovely guy, but I cannot forgive Hit and Run. That was a bad film.
Yeah,
And he wrote, directed, starred in it, put Kristen Bell in it, and stuff like that. And you know, the thing with these old TV shows, I mean, I was like 5 when Chips was on. Who is this appealing to at this point? You know, like a 70s show? I mean, that's too old for me. So I'm not really seeing the logic here. Like, I know Warner Brothers tried to get this off the ground a number of years ago, but then Starsky and Hutch didn't do so well for them. Dukes of Hazzard didn't do so well for them. So they shied away from it. I don't know why they think now is the time to strike with Chips. I don't see it. For me, it's a sell.
California Highway Patrolman, 2015. Strangely enough, am going to buy this. Why? I think the Chips, it's time for a remake. So I didn't see Hit and Run, so I think maybe if I saw Hit and Run, I'd be selling it. But just blindly thinking about it and knowing Dax Shepard's strengths and just the Chips idea in general, it could be a really fun film. It could be horrible. I don't know, but I'm buying it tentatively right now.
But Bradley Cooper was actually kind of funny in Hit and Run. And I will say this, I do like this. Michael Pena as Ponch.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
That kind of fits really well. Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, folks, we've reached that part of the show for Mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, listen, we do this show live every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you are watching us live right now, we're even going to take a little bit of time to take some of your Twitter questions. You can start tweeting in some questions to @AMC Movie News. We're going to save just a few minutes at the end of the show for that, and Chris Lee will pick those out. But for now, let's get to the Mailbag.
Robert Carr writes, "Hey AMC Movie Talk crew, love the show and love you guys and watch every day. My question is, why doesn't DC just release a well put together small teaser for Batman vs. Superman? I mean, it would serve them well, because then we fans would hype the movie up into space and then the movie will make even more money. They need to give us an idea at least of what to expect in 2 years. What do you guys think? Thanks, and bring on the filthy."
Well, look, there's two sides of my brain here. The one side of my brain is I'm with you in that I want it. I want a Batman vs. Superman trailer to drop this afternoon. But they don't need to. And it would make no difference whatsoever. If they drop the first trailer now, if they drop the first trailer 1 year from now, they're 2 years away. I mean, so there's no point. And look, you start marketing this film too early, you're going to run into the same problem that Spider-Man 2 ran into, where at some point, you put out a trailer now, you got to put another trailer in 6 months, you got to put another trailer after that, and before you know, we've got 14 trailers for it. They know they don't need to put out a trailer. It's not going to hype up the movie any more than it is now. At least not. You could get some hype built up now, but they don't want the hype built up now. They want the hype once we're getting into the 8-month stretch to it. So I'm with you. I want it, but it doesn't make sense for them to do it. Do you guys see it any other way?
Yeah, I say patience, young Padawan. Did a Star Wars thing. I'm excited. I wanted to use that. Yeah, I was surprised that they even got something together for Comic-Con, because it is so early. There will be teasers. It's all to come. We just have to wait.
Just be patient.
Here's mine. You don't need to see the trailer right now, do you? You don't need to see the trailer. Yeah. I'm cool with waiting, and guess what? If you're able to get to a giant place, the nerd mecca like San Diego Comic-Con, and then you wait in line with like 4,000 other people for like 14 hours, you deserve to see the little 1-minute trailer that they showed at Comic-Con this year that you could watch on YouTube with a weird trapezoidal screen. Yeah. You could watch that trailer. You could see that flavor right now. But an actual official trailer, it's not necessary. They're not going to drop one in December. If they did, yeah, I'd be jumping around excited.
Sure,
hey,
yeah.
just show the thing that you showed them, but in crispy HD. I'd love it.
Yeah.
We're taking all the other topics off the show today. We're going to analyze second by second this new Batman versus frame by frame
is strangely
trailer.
amazing, yes, but that's not going to happen. I don't think so, and I'm cool with that. Look, we're seeing little pictures every 2 weeks or so of something on set, or now they're talking about Jesse Eisenberg is bald as Luthor. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? Little things are always going to drop online, and that's where you'll get your excitement built up. Whether a trailer drops, you're right. 2 years. It's a long wait. I don't mind waiting another 6 months, 7 months. So.
All right, what's next?
Jordan Anderson writes, AMC Movie Talker, you are by far the best in the biz at what you do. I had a suggestion for you. What do you think about doing a weekly show or a weekly segment called AMC Top 5 or Top 10? I know you get a lot of questions asking you to name your top 5 for this or top 10 for that. I think a show or segment just focusing solely on your top 5 or top 10 favorites in any given category and then discussing it could be really popular. What do you think?
It's a nice idea. We did a show for a little while called AMC Top 5 that lasted all of 3 weeks because nobody watched it. I thought it was a great idea, but yeah, as happens from time to time, I was wrong. We had this little show called AMC Top 5 that was basically it was done on Saturdays, I think.
Top 5 news stories.
Yeah, it was counting down what we picked out as the top 5 movie news stories of that week. And wasn't a lot of interest for it. And it's like, okay, and I'm one of these guys who I'm not afraid to try new things because I'm not afraid to ditch something if it's not working. So we realized after 3 weeks, this isn't working, let's ditch it, we'll move on to something else. What you're suggesting sounds like a much better top 5, top 10 idea, so I don't know, maybe. You guys like the idea?
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I thought the way he phrased it, it could work because you could change your topics of top 10, and like my top 10, whatever X movies of what genre, your top 10 and your top 10. Then you're getting the flavor of 30 movies. Maybe some might mix and match, but it's all good. It's better for the person who's watching it because then they get a little checklist of like, I want to watch these top 10 science fiction films.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea.
It's an interesting idea. We will talk about it around the AMC offices.
And I like it when it's very specific as well. So instead of doing just like top 5 movie villains, you're like top 5 jerks in movies or
top
something.
5 summer movies. That's
to pump the identical, which is always the top 5 actors to play Elvis.
Yeah, exactly. That would be cool. I like that.
Okay. All right, folks. Well, I said we leave a couple of minutes, and we do just have a few minutes left to take your live Twitter questions. Chris Lee is the gatekeeper. Chris Lee, what have you chosen to pick today?
Henry Mertens wants to know what your favorite voice-over acting performance in an animated movie is.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams as Aladdin.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going to say not Groot, but the Iron Giant.
Oh, Vin
Diesel. He's one of my faves.
There have been several really, really great ones, but yeah, the one that will always, to me, is the Robin Williams one.
And also like Mike Myers as Shrek. I know it got a little tiresome after a while, but that first movie?
Him doing the voice never got tired for me, though. The movies got tired.
Patton Oswalt as Ratatouille.
Yeah.
I always laugh at this one scene where he's like sniffs the pepper, I don't know, it makes me crack up every time. It's Pavlovian now. So, Ellen DeGeneres as Dory.
Yeah.
She did such a great job.
I wasn't that great on that.
I
liked
that one. But Albert Brooks as well in that movie was great.
All right, what's next?
Emil Johansson says, what studio would be the first one to get a female-led superhero movie if you had to guess?
Well, let's be clear here, because there have been lots of female-led superhero movies. It's just that in the new age of comic book movies, since Iron Man, we've kind of in this new age, or really since X-Men, there's been a new age.
Well, I know Sony's announced one, but they're not. That's not anything planned, is it?
Yeah, no, not really. If I had to put money on it, and I wouldn't be willing to put money on it, I'm going to say it's DC.
Yeah, with Wonder Woman?
I'm going to guess that at some point they're going to pull the trigger on Wonder Woman. Because, as of right now, Feige has said, they've got their slate planned out right now for the next 5 years, or 4 years, or whatever. And we know that a female-led superhero movie is not in that current slate. they're not going to jam in another one. So they might plan one for after that. And so I've got a feeling DC will come out with one within 5 to 6 years, which will make it first to the finish line. Unless Sony surprises us all. But I put my mind on DC. How do you guys see it?
Oh, I was just reading this morning that Warner Brothers have bought a few new domain names, and
yes,
one of them is Wonder Woman. But that, I mean, that might just be to save it from someone else who's going to get it. But I would say DC.
I'm going to put my money on Marvel. Why? Because I think Feige's giving us a little few hints over the last month. He's been saying, you know what? A lot of people have been talking to me about Black Panther. A lot of people have been talking to me about Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. Yeah. And he said it multiple times in different interviews. So what that, to me, is telling me is he's peppering the fanboys or whoever's reading this kind of information and getting us ready that, hey, remember they just announced, oh, you know what? We just slotted in another movie. Remember they had like 9 movies all slotted? Now there's 10. That doesn't say that they can't just slot one whenever they want in 2 years before Batman vs. Superman even comes out. They could slot Captain Marvel in. Or they could slot it in 3 years. I tend to think, like, definitely DC's going to do a Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
Will they do it the year after Batman vs. Superman, or will they drop Justice League because they're shooting those back-to-back? Probably they're going to drop Justice League, then do a Wonder Woman movie, would be my guess.
Right.
Yeah,
I'd like to
who knows?
see that.
I'd like to see
Marvel,
any of those. Yeah.
Marvel just chuck it in, because I'd also like to see a female-led superhero movie that doesn't have to have the woman set up in multiple movies beforehand.
Right.
You can just be like, boom, here she is. Wow.
All right, let's take time for one more.
Brandon Joden says, hey guys, any news on the Rocky spinoff Creed?
You know what? A while ago, Michael, I believe it was Michael Jordan, the word came out that he was going to play like the son or grandson of Apollo Creed, and it was going to be called Creed, and Sylvester Stallone was attached. And it was a while ago, so forgive me if I'm getting some of these details wrong. But since that happened, I have heard nothing. And Michael Jordan has continued to sign up for other new things.
Michael K. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Because I keep seeing Michael Jordan, basketball legend. Like,
Michael
what?
Jordan, taking time from his Hanes underwear commercials, is stepping in to play Apollo Creed's
Michael
son.
Air Jordan is now, was like, what?
Sorry, Michael B. Jordan.
Thanks, sorry.
But I have heard nothing about it since, like not a thing of movement. So have you guys heard anything about it at all?
No, I haven't.
I heard they're just going to go with Creed, like an adaptation of that band. You know?
Can you take me higher?
Bang, da, bang, da, bang. Yeah.
With that 90s voice, they always say like,
trying to be Eddie Vedder.
Don't pretend like you don't have a bunch of Creed on your iPod. Okay, that'll do it for us, folks, for this installment of AMC Movie Talk. Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, don't forget, lots of great films playing at AMC Movie News. Playing at AMC Theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and of course your movie ticket information. If you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video, and you'll find links to our podcast feed so you can listen to us on the way to work. And don't forget, click that thumbs up button. I want to thank first the people sitting at the table with me. First of all, Miss Alicia Malone. Alicia, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Alicia Malone, and on AMCI Indie Spotlight.
And of course, the one and the only Mr. John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you?
Instagram, Twitter, at John Schnepp, at TDOSLWH. We're in our last 6 days. Support Superman Lives. Help me get those recreation scenes gone. Go.
And of course, our gatekeeper today, Miss Chrisley Kennedy. Chrisley, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on social media at Chrisley.
And you can just find me on the various social media networks at John Campea. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name is John Campea for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.